2016 tractor market closed 2016 down in almost all the major countries. Data elaborated by AgriEvolution, made public November 8th in Bologna at a press conference staged by Federunicoma ahead of IMA International, pointed to a forecast of falling sales over the first 9 months of the new year in Europe, down 6%, China declining by 29%, Brazil off by 17%, Russia lower by 19%, and Japan down by 24%. Only a few countries were named on the plus side, India moving up 17% to correct the substantial 2015 drop in sales, and Turkey up 7%. The United States came up with a marginal 3% increase in spite of a 22% plunge in sales of tractors with power in the over 100 horsepower category. By the close of the year, expectations are for India reaching sales of 600 million tractors, China at 400 million, the United States at 200,000, and Europe at 160,000. The decline of sales is attributed to falling farm incomes following overproduction and the drop of major commodity prices, leaving farmers with narrower margins for making investments. This negative cycle of the purchase of agricultural machinery is certain to continue through 2017, with recovery expected only in 2018. Though these declines involve many major countries, they are not conditioning the positive trend in some of the emerging markets. According to a Nomisma survey, tractor imports over the 6-year period 2010 to 2015 soared by 400% for Vietnam for a value of $124 million, 250% for Ethiopia, and 240% for Kenya. The most outstanding figure is a more than 800% leap for Cuba, achieved in 2015 alone. On the side of other agricultural machinery and equipment, the Philippines and Cambodia came in as leaders in export growth, gaining by 190% and 210% respectively in the 6-year period, followed by Vietnam and Ethiopia gaining by 128% and 117% respectively. IMA International scored a success beyond all expectations for the exposition of agricultural machinery and equipment, which drew to a close last evening in Bologna Trade Fair quarters with an all-time record for visitors. The total number of visitors arriving over the 5 days of the exhibition came to 285,000 for a gain of 21% compared to the previous edition held in 2014, in addition to the 44,000 business people coming from abroad for an 18% increase. Organized by Federunicoma, the Italian Agricultural Machinery Manufacturers Federation, in Confindustria, the National Manufacturers Federation, the great event generated an enormous number of business contacts and provided these crowds of visitors with extremely wide ranges of technologies presented by the 1,900 manufacturing industries exhibiting in the trade fair pavilions. But above all, the 2016 edition of IMA International was targeted on the 80 business delegations arriving from abroad. 70 of them were set up by the Federunicoma with the support of ICE, the trade agency and the Ministry for Economic Development at work on the internationalization of enterprises. This ICE Federation initiative alone led to some 15,000 visits to the exhibiting industry stands and 3,000 business-to-business meetings organized for the business people in these delegations. Most of them came from South Africa, North and Sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East and Southeast Asia, as well as from the ex-Soviet Union, the Balkans, and the Oceania countries. In addition to the members of the official delegations, the exposition drew more than 40,000 individual business people from 140 countries. Among the highly successful initiatives staged were the new IMA Desk Area, organized with the collaboration of UNACMA, the Italian Agricultural Machinery Dealers Association, and the communities in Italy in flour brought in as one of the green initiatives. The 25th meeting of the members of the Club of Bologna was held during the run of IMA International on November 12th and 13th. This international task force, created through a Federunicoma initiative, brings together 98 specialists representing 37 countries, universities, research bodies, and manufacturing industries for work on promoting research and discussions, drafting documents, and recommending the best operations to pursue agricultural mechanization in various parts of the world. At this meeting, the club focused mainly on the history of agricultural mechanics to produce a publication of the club's analysis over the past 25 years, a volume edited by Luigi Boldria and Marco Fiala. The 8 volumes of the publication cover the history of the club and activities and reports on mechanization in the leading parts of the world, North and South America, China, Europe, and Africa. In the setting of the first work session held under the leadership of the club's new president, elected following the close of the term in office of President Luigi Boldria, who was presented with a plaque honoring his work. Paolo Balsari, the club secretary general and a member of the University of Turin agricultural mechanics faculty, was named to take his place. His first act as president was to select Professor Marco Fiala of the University of Milan to take the place he had held in the club for several years.